Savor Paradise. This is a part 2 to the cilantro lime that I made last time. Today we're going to make my version of Mexican-inspired black beans. This is super easy. It shouldn't take very long to make at all. The black beans are actually canned black beans, and they pair really nice with the cilantro lime rice that I made the other day. So we're going to go ahead and get started. First thing you're going to need is 2 tablespoons of avocado oil. In my last video I explained why I use avocado oil. It has a higher smoke point and it just adds a whole nother flavor level to this really good dish. The second thing I'm going to add is 2 strips of chopped bacon. You can, if you love bacon, you can add a couple more strips. I do that when I'm hosting for my family. But today we're going to use 2 strips. And then half a cup of chopped onion, 2 tablespoons of minced garlic, and a teaspoon of cumin. And cumin is really good for another depth of flavor. It's used in a lot of chilies and a lot of other Mexican dishes. Then we're going to use 10 ounces or a can of fire roasted tomatoes. Now this is pretty much my secret weapon whenever I make these beans. They add instant flavor and they give the perception of the dish being fire roasted. So a lot of Mexican cooking comes from everything being fire roasted, and so in the wintertime when you can't really grill out or do anything like that, this is really good to use in a lot of your dishes to give it that smoky flavor. The one that I use is fire roasted tomatoes with green chilies. But if you're lucky, sometimes you can find fire roasted tomatoes with habaneros or habanero and onion. So those are all good substitutes if you can't find it. Or simply use fire roasted tomatoes and then add in your own hot pepper or chile or anything like that. And then of course just a can of black beans, about 15 ounces. I just so happen to have organic black beans that I got from Costco. So they're just your regular canned black beans. I did rinse them though so that they didn't have that brown substance that comes with a can of black beans. And then finally, just because I love the flavor of jalapenos, usually I leave the seeds in because I like spice, but today I cut the seeds out and I chopped just 1 large jalapeno. My husband and I both love the flavor of jalapeno, even if we don't get the spice with it. So that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and add all these things in one at a time and then cook for about 15 minutes. Actually, we're going to simmer it for about 15 minutes. And then once all of those flavors have melded together, we'll be done. So we'll get started.
Okay, welcome back. I added the 2 tablespoons of avocado oil and the 2 strips of chopped bacon, and we're just letting that fry really good until it starts to brown, but it's not fully brown because we want to add these onions. So this is the half cup of onion with a little bit of cilantro bits in there. My bad. And then we're just going to cook this until it looks nice and brown. This cooks really fast, so make sure you keep an eye on it.
Okay, and when we have the bacon fully cooked through and we have the onion nice and soft, we're going to go ahead and throw in, towards the end, we're going to throw in the garlic and the cumin because the garlic will burn fast if we keep it in there too long. Make sure you give it a nice stir. Smells amazing. Okay, and then once all of that has been nice and fried, I would say a good 5 to 8 minutes from the time you put in the oil. Should be really good. I'm going to throw in the fire roasted tomatoes. Oh my gosh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells really good. Okay, and then I'm gonna throw in the black beans. And finally the jalapenos for some much needed color. Okay, and then we're gonna let this, I'm gonna raise the heat a little bit, and then once it looks like it's boiling a little bit, I'm gonna reduce it for 15 minutes on a simmer, and then we'll take a look when it's all done. Now we've simmered the black beans for 15 minutes with the cover off so that the liquid evaporates and the flavor soaks into the beans. Now you're gonna get kind of a paste-like texture, and it's gonna be a little chunky, but the flavor is really good and the flavor is definitely there. You definitely wanna make sure you taste as you develop your recipe, just to make sure, does it need any salt? Does it need less salt? Do you need to put in more acid, meaning lime juice or something like that? But as far as this goes, because we were using 2 canned items, I didn't add any extra salt, and it came out pretty good. So I don't think you'll need to be adding any salt to this. And then we have the rice that we made, the cilantro lime rice that we made in our last video. And now I'm just showing you guys how we assemble. Now, my husband likes to kind of create a rice bowl out of it, so it's just basically all of these ingredients with some guacamole and some hot sauce. Now, the guacamole, don't judge me, because it's just me and my husband, in the wintertime, we love buying these in bulk. It's just these little 1-serving pre-made guacamole. And we like having them because then we don't have to make a big batch and worry about it browning. This tastes really good. It's fresh. We typically buy the one that has the least ingredients in them, but they are just so perfect for 1 or 2 people. So like this will feed both me and my husband over dinner. And then, so I explained how my husband really likes putting it into a rice bowl. And now I'm going to show you guys how pretty much I eat it, or how my family eats it. What we do is we just take the rice, grab a plate, grab a bunch of rice, grab a bunch of the beans, oh my gosh, and these beans came out so good, so good. And then we use cotija cheese. Cotija cheese is a lot like Parmesan. So it's a little salty. It's got that great umami flavor, if you've ever heard of that. It's really just a deep, deep flavor that kind of makes you go back for more. So like when you're eating a good chili, or drinking or eating a good sauce, that really depth of flavor that makes you keep wanting to go back for more, that's kind of what umami is, or at least that's how I understand it. And this really has that. So I love putting it on the end of a dish. So I'm just gonna put that over our beans. I always like adding something fresh. Normally I would squeeze a little bit of lime over the beans, but because we have a cilantro lime rice and it's a little lime heavy, I'm gonna forego the lime. And then of course I'm gonna put one of my favorite hot sauces, and it's just a beautiful orange color. And then put in a little bit of that guacamole. And then I found these really cute little street taco corn tortillas. And what I did was I just pan fried them in a frying pan or in a cast iron skillet with a little bit of avocado oil, because you want that avocado flavor to come through. And then you can see it's a little bit crispy, but it's still bendable. That's the way that I like it. And then I just rip them in half and create a little crevasse with them. So then I grab a little bit of everything to make sure I get all the flavor. Kind of pinch it at the top there and just eat it like a little baby taco. Really good. So, really good. So, that's pretty much my take on rice and beans. This is how I make them during the week. Really fast, really easy. You can grab a bunch of stuff from your pantry, use a few fresh ingredients, and have a really good dinner. And I just really thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. From my house to yours. Good luck, and I hope you really enjoy this dish.